Welcome to the AI Ireland podcast, your window into the world of AI innovation on the island of Ireland. Join us as we explore how AI is harnessed to tackle both business and societal challenges, revealing the cutting-edge solutions emerging from this vibrant AI community. Don't forget to subscribe for the latest updates and insights in the world of AI. Hello everyone, it's Mark Kelly here. You're very welcome to the AI Ireland podcast. And in the run-up to the AI Awards, which are on the 26th of November, we've had the pleasure of speaking to Apoorva Kumar, who is the co-founder and CEO of a company called Inspeq AI. And they are nominated for this year's finalists for AI Startup of the Year. Apoorva, thank you very much for joining us on the show.
Thank you, Mark. Pleasure being on your prestigious show, and we are honored to be one of the finalists of AI Awards Ireland this year.
Tell me a little bit about Inspeq and what problem are you looking to try to solve?
Sure. So we co-founded Inspeq along with a dear friend of mine, Ram, in Q4 last year with a mission of empowering organizations to responsibly harness AI. And when we started the business, we interviewed close to 200 plus developers and data scientists who were trying to build LLM-based applications. And at that point in time, we started realizing that there is a lot of issues with LLMs, primarily because LLMs by nature are non-deterministic. And at the same time, like our background is with big tech like Microsoft, Meta, LinkedIn, and Amazon. So a little bit about myself, before co-founding Inspeq with Ram, I was working at Microsoft as senior manager of product for OneDrive and SharePoint, where me and my team were part of a portfolio called Microsoft Syntax, which is around content AI. So we were building different AI capabilities, including things like copilots, e-signature capabilities, etc., as a part of OneDrive and SharePoint over here in Dublin. And before that, I was part of Microsoft Teams as a product lead, where our team's charter was to grow Teams usage by 200%, which me and my team were able to achieve. And as a result of it, our team also got a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to present to Bill Gates, which happens quite rarely at Microsoft. Before that, I was with Amazon. I was the first product manager for AWS Lambda in Europe, owning the execution environment space of Lambda. So that's where all the runtime sandboxes, etc., of Lambda are launched. And I got a great opportunity over there to give load testing sign-off to Government of India for the launch of COVID application, which was built on AWS Lambda. And early years of my career, I spent a lot of time at SAP in different geographies. I started off in India, which is the second largest R&D unit of SAP after Germany, relocated to Ireland some 9 years back. And Ireland is now home for us. And briefly, I also relocated to US, both on East and West Coast on some mission critical projects, and came back to Ireland and took up the role of product manager for SAP Analytics Cloud. And since then, whatever I've done in my career till date has been in and around productizing and commercializing AI, ML, and data platforms. So just fast forwarding back to Q4 last year, we were seeing a lot of problems with LLMs, even at Microsoft. And my co-founder, Ram, at that point in time, he was working as an applied AI research scientist at Meta, where he was fine-tuning LLM models for Meta's ad business. And before that, he was working at LinkedIn as a staff scientist, as a part of the economic research team. And early years of his career, very much like me, spent a lot of time at Ernst & Young as an AI consultant. So between me and Ram, we have the breadth and depth of building and scaling these kind of enterprise businesses. And that's where, when we started seeing all these problems with LLMs, we further validated it with those developers. And then we launched the first version of a product, which was a developer platform, which could evaluate the output of LLM applications. And I'm talking about like early March this year. But beyond that, when we kind of raised the first round of funding, which was $1.1 million, led by some of the biggest names over here in Europe and Ireland, we started realizing that there is a very strong need of an AI governance platform, especially when we were talking to enterprise customers in regulated industries like banks or like big hyperscaler clients. They all were paranoid about generative AI adoption. And while we see that people are trying to experiment with LLMs and with AI agents, there's still a big adoption blocker when it comes to production workloads. And that's primarily because LLMs, they hallucinate, they provide all sort of misinformation, biasness, they're providing incoherent, inconsistent, insecure outputs. And that was the main problem which we wanted to solve through a platform. So once we started fine-tuning a platform towards an AI governance platform, we are now at a point where we have defined a new category, which is called responsible AI ops. And now We have paying customers, paying enterprise customers, and we have signed partnerships with some of the biggest consulting companies of the world. And they are working with us and they are using our AI Ops platform for safe AI deployments across the globe.
So it's really interesting that you went and spoke to 200 people, kind of similar to myself over the last 6 to 7 years, where I just speak to people and ask them, what's the problem you're trying to solve? And from that, that's obviously probably giving you a lot of energy in terms of this is actually a worthy problem to solve because they're speaking to you, getting insights from that, which is fantastic. So when you're trying to scale, because you've worked on all these different types of enterprises companies, has that been at the background that your solution has to scale rather than
Yes.
just kind of solve problems for companies, but you're always thinking in that kind of enterprise wide. And then you're right, with generative AI, so many different businesses just don't know how to use it, where the majority of companies are just asking ChatGPT a question, they get an answer, that's where it stops, rather than actually looking at kind of domain specific use cases and looking for real impact from proprietary data.
So basically, just going back to your scale question, right? So essentially, Inspeq AI is a platform, right? So we allow different types of SaaS applications to be built on top of our platform. So these SaaS applications could be AI bots, they could be content generation agents, it could be even co-pilots for different types of use cases, right? So we are this quintessential responsible AI layer for your Gen AI solution. And essentially, the users of a platform are developers and data scientists. So scale is paramount for the stuff that we are doing, especially when developers and data scientists are trying to build enterprise grade applications. So think about, a consulting company who are trying to build a solution using generative AI for chargeback scenarios, right? So chargeback is a pretty common scenario. It's extremely manual today. Today, if you are applying for a chargeback, you'll have to submit all your evidences, which goes to the back office bank agent. And then the bank agent manually assembles all that information, then sends it to the service provider, which could be MasterCard or Amex, it could be Visa, depending on whatever card you've used. And once it is established that the transaction is legitimate, then as a bank agent, you communicate to the customer that your chargeback will be processed in 7 working days. You'll be surprised that on an average, a bank agent takes approximately 25 minutes to process one chargeback. And a small bank, which is kind of, like in 2 or 3 countries, they roughly spent 2 million euros just on this chargeback back office process. Now, with generative AI and tools like Microsoft Copilot Studio or Amazon Bedrock or IBM Watson, you are able to cut down that time from 25 minutes to 2 minutes, and you are able to save roughly 2 million euros. But then the problem is that no financial institution will adopt this kind of a process unless and until they have that safety layer of responsible AI. Because we should not forget that even there are regulations coming up in different parts of the world, predominantly in Europe, with the EU AI Act, which imposes a fine of up to 15 million euros on high risk category companies or 3% of your annual turnover, which is huge. So while financial service institutions can save money on chargeback processes using generative AI, nobody would want to use it without a protection layer, which is what exactly Inspeq provides, right? And using this, they can safely deploy AI. And when the regulators come to them, they can hand over the reports which are generated using our platform to the regulators, and they can undersign if the AI process around chargeback is compliant or not. So imagine the scale of this particular application where there are numerous chargebacks being processed on a daily basis, right? And each chargeback is going through our system to validate if it is the correct chargeback or not, right? So that's where the scale becomes so important for the kind of platform that we are building. And that's where even in the architecture of our platform, we have ensured that it could scale up to like millions of transactions, millions of inspections, at scale. So that's where we stand at the moment.
Yeah. So when you're solving these problems, is there anything that you thought would be more straightforward and actually turned out to be more complicated to solve? And anything that you thought was more complicated to solve actually turned out to be a bit more straightforward?
Great question. So I'll tell you, I'll answer the first question. which is like what we thought would be straightforward, but it is actually very complicated. And I think this is one of the technical differentiators of our platform as well, right? So when we talk about this protection layer, right, which is this responsible AI layer, and by the way, responsible AI is a huge subject. It has different pillars like fairness, privacy, robustness, explainability, accountability, transparency, and so on and so forth. And it's all, in theory at the moment, and nobody knows how to measure responsible AI and provide that kind of protection layer, which is exactly what Inspeq is trying to do with our platform, right? But the main thing is then when people try and kind of build these kind of solutions, they will do some kind of a scaffolding using other LLMs. So basically, what they'll do is that they will try and judge the output of one LLM, which is this chargeback AI application, using another LLM. So while it looks very simple, that once you get an output, you can ask another LLM, which could be an OpenAI model or a Mistral model or an Anthropic model about the output. But in reality, now the research has proven that it is not the best way of doing it, because LLMs themselves, they have intrinsic biases, right? And at the same time, because LLMs are also costly and they introduce latencies, your results will be more expensive and they'll be slower. What our platform does, and this is where we try to kind of solve this problem, which looks simple, but it's actually very complicated, is that we don't use LLMs at all within our platform. And that's where the technical differentiator for us comes, because we are faster, we are cheaper, and we are more accurate than anyone else. And we have benchmarked our results against 20,000 plus data sets. We have vetted our results with industry leaders and professors from University of Galway and University of Liverpool.
Okay,
So
brilliant.
just to kind of answer your question in terms of
Yeah,
what looks simple, but it's actually
yeah.
not.
It is. So we're talking about scale. We're talking about making sure that you're benchmarking against the current status quo. You're looking at trying to add significant value to the enterprise, but ultimately kind of give a level of confidence that you're doing it in the right way rather than it's an afterthought, because the infrastructure to ensure that regulation is abided by is going to build trust for either internal customers or external customers, and ultimately your brand is going to live or die by that. And for a lot of people, they don't want to use AI because they're concerned about the reliability of it and where is it going to take them, and you don't want to be on the wrong end of that side of it. So it's been a really exciting time to be, nominated. We have you for the awards nominated. I see you've also IBEC as well have you've been nominated for their awards as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Yeah, there are a couple of accolades at the moment,
Yeah.
Mark, for us. Like we're also listed as top 100 hottest European startups by Wired magazine, and
So
we are also
cool.
one of the 6 featured AI startups at Web Summit this year. So we'll be in Portugal from
So
11th to
exciting.
15th December, and we also represented Ireland in the biggest pitching competition in the world, which is Startup World Cup in San Francisco, where we were the youngest company to be part of that finale among 84 representatives from all over the world. And the
Yeah.
final pitch when me and Ram were there, it was witnessed by the likes of Robert, who is the most kind of popular ABC Shark Tank judge, along with some 200 plus VCs of Silicon Valley. So it was a very prestigious moment for us. But beyond that, we have got partnerships now with HCL Tech, which is a $52 billion company, which is one of the largest IT consulting in the world. And they are using us for safe AI deployments across the globe. I cannot mention the name of the clients, unfortunately, in this call, but there are some really big hyperscalers and financial service institutions that we are working with. And it's not just SEL. We have also signed a partnership with one of the most leading data company of Middle East, which is called Unify Data. And they are now using us for some great clients like GACA, which is the Gulf Civil Aviation Authority, which owns all the airlines. So it's within less than 1 year, we have kind of got to this stage with all these accolades, partnerships, tractions, revenue, product research, and that's only because of our team. We are a very rock solid team. It's very lean at the moment, but we are now in 3 pockets. Ireland is our headquarters, so we have our business unit over here. We have UK as our AI center because we partner very closely with the University of Liverpool, and my co-founder and CTO of the company, Ram. He is based out of UK, and we have Bangalore in India as a software engineering center. But what really excites us is the people who are working in making Inspeq the next big phenomena from Ireland, right? So that's what we are excited about.
Fantastic. Well, we're wishing you the very, very best. And if people want to see how Inspeq get on at the AI Awards, it's on the 26th November at the Marker Hotel. So hope you'll all join us and actually see that. And thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you so much, Mark. It's a pleasure. Hopefully, we end the year with a bang with award, as well as now we are also fundraising, and we have a oversubscribed pre-series A round at the moment, which is going on. So hopefully, fingers crossed, awards will be tremendous to kind of finish the year with a bang.
Well, best of luck with that. Thank you very much. On the 26th of November, join us for the 6th Annual AI Awards at the Marker Hotel in Dublin. This year's event promises to be our largest and most impressive yet, with over 300 community members in attendance and over 48 applications of AI in action. This truly is an incredible world-class event, and we are inviting you to this event. Experience the excitement live, because we're going to be capturing this with a world-class film crew, and it's going to be streamed online. However, if you want to join us in person, book your table now, because opportunities are limited. If you're interested in sponsoring this year's awards, please contact me at Market.ai Awards for more information and see the best in class of AI applications on the island of Ireland.